I was completely floored after I read the book, The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life by Irving Goffman, by the idea that all life could be considered a sort of rehearsal, a play, a performance, a presentation that would shape other people's opinions of what you were and who you were about. And that was just sort of earth-shaking to me. So I gave up my master's degree in communication to pursue my artistic license, which was granted in 1981. And at that point, I realized that truly Shakespeare was right, all the world's a stage. So, okay, it's time. Oh, they're timed. Yeah. So I started a series of mimicking, if you will, sort of public sculpture and what have you. This particular one was in Prague. You'll notice who doesn't love big gnomes. The big gnome has a pacifier. I have a pacifier. My pacifier is a Stella Artois. That's before I discovered Wandering Star. But his pacifier is a regular kind of normal pacifier. I'm married to an Icelander. Icelanders suffer from sunlight deficit disorder, and they generally are sort of sad, except the one I'm married to is extraordinarily happy, likely because she married me, but I'm not really sure about that. But it's kind of infectious, although on this day, as you can see by the long shadows, there was really no sunlight deficit disorder. This is another Icelander. She founded the national parks of Iceland. I just couldn't help it when I saw that sculptural expression on her face, trying to stare her down. I mean, I guess her tenacity was pretty visible, and that's how she got it done. So really an amazing woman. I'd like to meet her in real time, but that was the best I could do in the moment. This Mohawk Trail, everybody seen this on the Mohawk Trail? This icon is actually the beginning of a Native American related series I'm going to tell you about, but obviously it's a promotion for a very tasteful and wonderfully done, exquisite sort of gift shop where you have great representations of Native American culture, as you can probably imagine. And while we're on that theme, Massimoka is always a good place to play this out. This is Kissing the Buffalo, the drippy buffalo. I'm not sure about the drippy, although you can't see it on the front side of my pants. I had some drippy because I'd been in the bathroom earlier and didn't wash my hands. I mean, the splash from washing my hands caused a certain amount of drippiness, but that's also kind of a spitting bull. And I have a theme. This is my son and I continuing the spitting bull theme in a little town in Hungary called Pech. Now, I did the wiki pronunciation thing today because I wasn't sure how to pronounce it. You can pronounce it peach, patch, or bitch. I'm not sure which one it is. I prefer to think of it as peach. This is a Nikki de Saint-Phal in Paris. You're probably familiar with her work. She's really an extraordinary sculptor. So I was trying to do my best to contort to her, but many of you probably don't know that her actual name is Catherine Agnes Martin Fowl or something. How that got put into Nikki, I'm not really sure, but her name's Nikki. She's dead now, but her work's all over the place. That's a Republican in name only, a rhino. And my gut and the expression on my face, this is longer than 20 seconds. Isn't this longer than 20 seconds? No. I really do think this is longer.
It's not, Van.
It's not?
No.
How long has this been up? Oh. Finally, I get to take advantage of my double chin at the time, and because this is the big thumb sculpture also in Paris, so I tried to kind of mimic the little wrinkles that are right below the knuckle, and that was the result. You'll see some of the same shirts, and stuff. I travel, no matter where I travel, I try to keep it light. Okay, this was, I was trying to stare this guy down with a blinking contest. He won, but it was, it was there. That was in Mexico. And you'll see this shirt 4 days later. This is part of the Many Paths to Heaven part of the series. I was mimicking the Quetzalcoatl, the Mexican snake god, who, his serpentine way of moving created the Mayan steps and the pyramids and everything. But, he's got his tongue out, and the shirt was, I think, fresh. Then, I don't know if that's the same shirt, but that's a Chinese guardian dog or guardian lion in Portland. They call them foo dogs. Many of you probably heard of that before. Again, Many Paths to Heaven. I always feel like hedging your bets is a good idea, so I try to relate to every sort of religious tradition as often as possible as I can. And this one, of course, is Asian. And Santa, who doesn't love Santa? Speaking of religion, traditions, the retail holiday shopping tradition that we've created in America, loosely based on Christianity. He was Saint Nick, after all. And Santa's, by this point, you can see I've got maybe triple chin, but he's got a beard, and no telling how many chins he's got underneath there is my point there. And then my first ever, you've seen My Size Barbie. This is like My Size nativity scene. I'd never seen this before. By the way, when my son, who was raised to get to the age of reason before he thought about religion, when I set up my first nativity scene in the house, he called it the Jesus setup. But anyway, this is you can't see the baby Jesus, but the joy. Okay, this is in Hungary. Is that right, honey? Hungary? Yeah. And this sculpture was the sculpture anonymous or was the guy anonymous? I don't really know, but I kind of liked the way he was sort of slouching toward mortality, or what's that, slouching toward Babylon? Is that the title of that book? Oh, this is my awe. I mean, everybody needs an awe. That's my awe moment. I just liked her. I think it's a her. I'm not sure if it's a her. So I tried to do her. I mean, do her. Metaphorically. Yeah. Okay, another mass smoke. I mean, I played with what we called army men when I was a kid. This is actually a cowboy of Cowboy and Indians, going back to the Native American theme and the many paths to heaven. But I've always liked a full-size, army man, although cowboy man, whatever. I thought that was a good thing, and wondering if Jarvis Rockwell has scooped that up yet, because, he loves those sort of action figures. And then finally, Oh Canada. This is one of my favorites because it reminds me of a friend of mine's daughter who went to Museum of Natural History in New York, saw a mounted bear, and said, "Mommy, how does that happen?" After Mom explained taxidermy, the little girl rounded the corner only to bump into a diorama with Native Americans in it, which begged a pretty big question for her. It was like a oh no moment. Anyway, that's it. Life imitates art. It's not the other way around.